Welcome to my tiny house. This is gonna be a tiny tour. It was my very first time ever building something. Some of it's a little quirky. I made mistakes in the tiny house at the very beginning because I was trying to save money. We had to replace quite a few things that I skimped out on, and that was my learning experience. This is my favorite place of the house, I think. And we also have this Airstream. I basically gutted all of it. Hi, my name is Elise Garcia, and this is my small abode. I chose to build my own tiny house because it seemed like I could create a style of a house from the ground up that I knew that I could design with arches and colors and skylights. I just got really excited about the thought of more minimal living, and I thought it'd be really, really fun. And I was correct, it was very, very fun to build. It was my very first time ever building something. I definitely knew where I had skills, and I knew where I needed to hire people who had much more skills than me. I didn't know how to frame a house, but I knew how to paint it. I didn't know how to do electrical or plumbing, but I knew how to design it, and I knew how to put the backsplash and make everything the interior aesthetic that I wanted. I do think that I made mistakes in the tiny house at the very beginning because I was trying to save money. And I quickly regret that because after it rained and all the skylights were not properly installed, or actual skylights, all of them had leaked. And it helped me and my husband realize that our motto is buy nice, not twice. And because we had to replace quite a few things that I skimped out on, and that was my learning experience. And so the other things that I can get thriftier with were more of the decor and the design on the inside. Since it was a good couple years ago, pricing was different, but I feel like I remember it was like $30K to build, which to me seems crazy now. I don't even think I could get the materials for that. It was such a sweet chapter and season of my life too, to be up here and live in it for almost a year. And then I got engaged and married to a photographer who has way too much equipment, and I realized that I don't think we could both fit in a tiny house, and decided that an Airbnb would be a really fun way to be able to still experience both of the houses that we built, while also more than likely allowing other people to experience them and enjoy them more than we can. And we also have this Airstream. It's a very cute, very Palm Springs retro desert aesthetic, and it is an Airbnb. I have both of them on a property that I rent right outside of Greenville, probably about 20 minutes outside, and a little bit more of a foresty, wooded area for the peace, the relaxation, the birds. And I rent the land from him, so I rent 2 plots, and so it's just all lumped in, all the water, electricity, mail, garbage, all rented per month. I am a very big fan of color. I think it gets me more creative, as I am a muralist in Atlanta, and so I am very drawn towards vibrant colors, and I just feel happier. So I knew that if I was gonna have guests staying in our home, I would want them to also feel creative, and I want them to feel happy and be in a place that stands out to them. This is my Hola tiny house, and I would love to show you around. Some of it's a little quirky. I had never really seen a big white geometric shape on a tiny house before, and I thought, why not? That could be very fun. This was my very first time painting an exterior of a house, and I also thought it would be fun to paint random trim color. Didn't know I would need a skirting, so about a year into it, added a skirting. I built this porch with my property owner, and by I built this porch with him, I mean he built this porch for me, and I hired him for that because I don't know how to do that. I got this barn door made because I felt like I wanted a little bit more safety, because I do love the sliding glass doors, but it didn't have a lock on it, so I wanted to figure out a way to make it lockable, and this is so heavy and durable and was very expensive to make, but that way, whenever it shuts, we now have a method of locking it. This is the storage room, which has electrical things. It is not very pretty, but this is where our electrical and random paper towel and paint buckets are. I wouldn't recommend exploring too deeply in there, but they are very helpful for houses because when you don't want people to see certain things, put them in there. Welcome to my tiny house. This is gonna be a tiny tour. This is my living room. I have a TV tucked behind here because this is kind of the only spot I think I could put it, but it works well. It swivels. I'm pretty sure I designed this living room area based on the width of this couch. So I think I can't get any other couch to fit in here afterwards because this couch was designed for this. I think I also might have added a little too much headspace on the living room area. I was overthinking how much headspace that I think our living room would need. That's why it's nice, it feels spacious, but I could have done with a little bit less headspace up at the top. This is my favorite place of the house, I think. I do a lot of work on my computer, and so this looking out here at this window is always the most relaxing part of my morning with coffee. I did just have to replace this whole window, so this is brand new because the other one I cheaped out and got a not great window, and I learned that lesson the hard way when it all rotted. And so maybe a year or so ago, I had to get this brand new window. So this is my favorite part of this kitchen because it's new and fun. The style that I really wanted to go for in this house is a very Spanish style. The name is Hola Tiny House, and I call this La Casita Bonita, which is the pretty little house. And so I kind of always wanted to go with a very like Hispanic Talavera design. This is a backsplash, and that was my first time installing backsplash on my own. I didn't realize that you could actually get real ovens, but in a smaller size. So this is a little bit smaller than your normal size, but it fits perfectly in here. Something that I used to love, but now is also a little bit more difficult, is that I built some storage in here to have some more spices and cabinetry things, and then I realized I never use this. And so that is what is right in here. I have some more storage under the stairs too. My refrigerator is probably one of my favorite little parts of it. Brings a little color pop to it. And this is our bathroom. Hand painted, full shower, regular toilet. I had a composting toilet at the beginning, and I quickly realized I hate composting toilets, and I will never try one of those again. But if you do have a composting toilet, by all means, I'm very proud of you, and that is a skill that I never hope to have to use again. And then I'll take you to the bedrooms. There's not much privacy, but this is the bedroom that has a bit more headspace. Very comfy. I have 2 skylights in here because I thought it would be super, super fun to wake up and look at the trees. And I was correct. It is very fun to wake up and look at the trees in the morning. This one has a bit more headspace than the second loft, but I will take you to the second loft now, which is our little guest loft. It's always fun scooting down these stairs. This staircase over here has some storage on the inside, but the storage looks really odd and kind of strange. And I think the way that I designed the drywall in here maybe did not have enough space, so sometimes has some little scratches over there. But this is our guest loft up here. It's a little bit tighter in terms of headspace, but usually most people are staying in the other loft that has some more headspace. Or if there's kids in here, this is plenty of space for kids. But there's also 2 more skylights up here. I initially had 2 light bulbs coming from the ceiling, and the amount of people that I'm pretty sure hit their head on that light bulb, I realized I need to take that out and just do 1 light bulb. So no more light bulb on the roof over there by your head. We had so much fun with the tiny house. We had talked about, oh my gosh, in like 2 years, let's get another one. Then when I found this Airstream, I said, that looks like it's gonna be fun to renovate. For the Airstream, I basically gutted all of it. The inside was not in a great state. So we gutted this, stripped it all down, designed it in the way that we could. And then my bathroom also wanted to be a very Spanish style. So that's why there's a lot of concrete and still more tiles. I used the same tiles from the tiny house backsplash to be as the bathroom backsplash too. So there's kind of a little tie for both of them in there. I will say it probably was only like 20 to 30K for the renovation of the Airstream itself. The roofing, the bathroom. Also made a few mistakes on the plumbing and doing things in a cheap way. So I've probably had to sink a couple extra thousand that I should not have had to sink just because I chose to try to do it cheaper at the beginning. So that's my fault, and don't do what I did. Buy nice, not twice, and make sure whoever's doing your plumbing is a plumber. This is my outdoor space. Probably the most expensive part of this entire renovation was these 3 beams. I built this because I had a huge fear of tree branches falling on my Airstream because I didn't know how durable it would be. So luckily, I spent way too much money on this awning, and it was a lot higher than I thought it would be, but it's cute. And now I have a lot of headspace. These 16 by 20 post beams, I will never purchase again in my life. And so I did a solid stain porch paint because I thought it would be very fun to make an ombre colored porch. So that's why my porch is a rainbow color. My surfboard up there that you see on top is to distract you that there's a cage around my AC unit because squirrels love to eat Furrion AC units. Furrion knows this, so I have a chicken wire cage outside of my AC unit. So my surfboard looks very cute, but it's practical so that you don't see my chicken coop cage. Welcome to our Airstream. This is a cozy place. If you notice there's no bathroom, is because an Airstream is relatively small space on the inside. So I will show you the bathroom in a second, but I took it out so that this can be fully interior and you don't feel cramped. This is my kitchen. My workspace, there's windows everywhere. You have a coffee bar with some storage of some cute mugs. There is a cute couch in here that turns into a sleeper bed in case there are at least 3 people in here. And there's my little bookshelf. You can't tell, maybe you can tell I tried color coordinating it and organizing it like a rainbow. My vision for this Airbnb / Airstream is a very Palm Springs retro desert vibe, hence the bright colors. I wanted to stick with teal, coral, mustard is my color palette. I have a small version of this one. We have the same one in our tiny house, but I thought this was very cute to put in here. This is my coffee maker and tried to do all the nostalgia brand for certain things. So I have the microwave, that's a nostalgia retro one. Coffee pot, toaster. I don't even know if people make toast in here, but it's a cute color, so I got it. I just recently updated the tiles because I did have all butcher block in here. I didn't realize how absorbent butcher block was for stains and wine spills. So I figured tile would be very cute. So I grabbed this tile and I also put it in our shower so that it all matched. And behind you I have a bed, a queen bed. I wanted to make a fun little archway and I hope I succeeded, but it does feel very cute. You have a queen bed with a TV that swivels and turns, and so if you'd like to stay in here and just binge Gilmore Girls, you can do that. Because it's a small space, you utilize as much storage as you can, and so I have blankets, extra sheets, all the things. Got some more other blankets and storage down here. We do have this one as an Airbnb, and so we have a lock on this one so that people don't eat all of our candy that we post out here. We have an AC, a heat, so it feels really nice in the winter and the summer. I'll take you to the bathroom. It's only inconvenient if you have to pee in the middle of the night. And here's the bathroom. This is all made out of Durock, which is concrete sheets. Same with here, we did a lot of concrete. I just really wanted an arch. I wanted a Spanish style, so we have multiple layers of waterproof concrete sheets, which was difficult to do. And I wanted it to be pink, so I painted it with my masonry coating pink paint, because why not? And then if you come around this way, we have a step-in shower. If I had to choose one word that reminded me of how I feel when I stay here, it is peaceful. Something about waking up with the trees and the winds is so nice. I love coming to stay in them, and I love the process of them. I would love to sell these because we are ready for the next chapter. And I know that the next chapter, whenever it comes, will be super exciting because I've learned a lot through the building process of these two and the renovating. And I know how to build better structures, and I know how to build them with different design style. And so I think I'm just really excited about the next project and the next chapter. I think what I like about having tiny houses and tiny spaces is that it's a lot less daunting if you don't like something and you want to change it. You can wake up and you can literally just replace all of your plates and bowls, and you can paint your cabinets, and you can add some wallpaper behind your refrigerator if that's what you want to do, because you're not having to cover 2,000 square feet of something. You're just going to cover 200 square feet of something. And so it's a lot less daunting, and it feels a lot more freeing to know that you don't have to fill a bunch of space. Being in a tiny house is very sweet for your heart, and I'm very thankful to be able to have these two that can be our little escape from the city.
If you like this week's episode, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and check back soon because we have new unique home tours publishing all the time. And if you'd like to join our team and get access to members-only content and unique perks, make sure you click on the join button below.